Put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody's joining the crew. We got just one ring, let we rule them all. Hope people remember your thoughts. Get your Uru feathers and your Middle guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword +1. Usually when still it will get you to come. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Guy.
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.
We're a tiramisu-sized podcast. We actually have nothing about tiramisu we're talking about tonight.
We have nothing about Gowron Eyes either, but that's what I put in the descriptor. So, there's that.
What's a Gowron Eyes?
Glory to you. And
not to be confused with galvanized.
Right. Gowron Eyes.
All right. That's did not post. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Get my comments up. It's Mario.
Did you see, that's where I was going. Thank you.
Did you see the
It's
Saturday
us,
Night Live?
Geek Tank.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live's parody sketch of The Last of Us, but with Mario?
Oh, no.
Nope.
All right. It's good. People are now saying that he should be playing Mario and not Chris. One of the Chris's, not Chris Evans, not Chris Helmsworth, Chris Pratt. That's the Pratt. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Right.
Yeah. My only complaint about Last of Us is they're only releasing one episode a week, and when you're caught up, you're like, "What I wanted the next episode now."
Too bad.
Yep.
Just wait for it.
Thought I was living in the future. Not back in the 80s where I have to wait weekly for my episodes.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, SNL overall is not that good, but when they do the movie stuff, they actually spend the entire week putting that together as opposed to the sketches, which they're constantly changing up to last minute. So the movie things like the Natalie Portman rap and that stuff, those things are really good. All of the Lonely Island stuff. So when it's one of the movie things that they put together, it's worth checking out. So we finished season 1, I guess we could call it, of our D&D campaign.
Is that season 1?
I don't know what we would call it because it's the first time we've taken a break.
Yeah. I don't know.
So we've taken a beating.
I mean, technically, I think each level could be considered a season if we were doing it right, but we're leveling fast, so I guess those are chapters.
I mean, yeah, like big season defining things. I think we like in like Beery and Leaving and stuff like that.
This is definitely the midway point because you guys hit level 11.
Yeah.
So part 1 of Infinity. That's a good way to put it. But yeah. It did. The rhythm wasn't exactly what I had planned, but we got through the stuff I wanted, and things played out pretty much how I expected them to, with the options available to players. The thing I did not expect was the family counseling, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. I like that.
I've yet to post on my Facebook D&D group that I sort of, I guess, stalk, because I don't normally post on that about that, because I think people would appreciate lurk. I think people would appreciate Xanathar's family therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had an idea while walking with Alex today that I have decided I'm going to try to write the Ivy's version of what happened before they found Ivy on the hero's side in the method of Kunk, because I think that'd be really freaking funny. Or just because I was wondering how far back our notes go, but I think if they go back far enough, just the way that Ivy perceived the universe, like not understanding what any of this stuff happened or why or when or what the purpose of it was, but But just like in those things, getting actually pretty close to the actual story, just like clearly not understanding, or focusing on weird details, or
Have you watched any of the Kunk stuff, Alex? It's like Kunk.
No, guy explained it to me.
Okay.
First, so.
It's on Netflix, so which I think you still have.
Yeah, I saw it come up on my feed.
Yeah, sadly, we just dumped Netflix.
Well, you can find
literally like 2 weeks ago, and now I'm
find other stuff of hers. I'm pretty sure on YouTube.
Well, yeah.
So you can still get an idea of her style. Yeah, they have Kunk on Britain. They have a collection of Kunk's hilarious interviews. So yeah, there's a lot of her stuff out there. There's like the best of Philomena Kunk.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So yeah, I can't remember what show it was that I originally saw her on, but yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this would definitely be Ivy if Ivy was trying to pretend to know what she was talking about.
Right. That was pretty funny.
Gosh, yeah. So the game was, the last portion of it was loosely based off of Dragon Heist, which takes place in Waterdeep.
We did not, in fact, steal a dragon.
Did not. And in fact, there was no heisting, which is the number one complaint of that module.
Yeah.
Of everyone, I've looked it up, and like one person's like, and this, of course, was after I'd already committed us to it, and we were like halfway into it. Is like, there are no heists in this, and I'm like, why is it called heist? It's mislabeled.
Right.
So I still am going to have to run a heist game because I want to do that. And,
hell yeah.
So that'll happen. But it's technically, you have 4 different ways you could run that campaign, and you pick which bad guy you want to focus on out of the 4 bad guys, and that's what you run, and it's loosely the same setup. Everybody's looking for the money. It's just the question is, which bad guy are the players interacting with out of all the bad guys that are involved in it? So, but yeah. I don't know. What else is there to be said about it? We're taking a month off, and you're going to Earth Dawn.
Yep, we're going to go finish up the Earth Dawn module that I was running and then COVID hit. So.
In the side of the head. Oh, wait.
Got to dig up that stuff. I already got the module back out. Looked over the notes. I got to see if I can find the other campaign notes and such. So. Yeah, buddy.
Fun.
Yeah, I felt like I felt like people, or I felt like you were feeling, Troy, that it was a little rushed at the end, and it was rushed. But I was saying to Alex, I actually kind of feel like that might have been slightly better because it was so intense, and so 4 hours of that intensity would have been kind of like, wow, So don't feel bad was kind of where I was on that one.
Yeah, but
I want you to feel bad.
Yeah, it should have.
Wishes for you to feel bad.
Well, originally it was going that the scene was going to play out a little bit more, so that way more than one player would cry. So, because if storytelling is not pulling emotions, it's not good storytelling.
Right.
So at least I made one player cry.
Right.
But yeah, I knew it's gonna be one of those things, and the key points where I predicted what Kevin was going to do, which was sacrifice himself to save his loved one, the loved NPC. And I predicted that Anna would not let Valeria sacrifice herself. But the whole part of it being a game, I needed to leave some of it up to fate with the dice. And so whether Valeria actually did sacrifice herself or not was going to depend on who won which role. But the drama that would have played out if Anna would have stopped him, that would have been pretty. I don't know if Valeria would ever forgive Anna.
Right. Well, and Valeria is known for holding grudges. So,
Good evening, Donald. Welcome. We wrapped up the midway point of the D&D game that we've been playing for 2 years now. So we figured we'd chat a bit about that tonight, since we have nothing else to talk about.
I only have 2 more years of playing as Julie. That makes me sad.
Although the second half might go faster than 2 years too, which would be less
Boo.
than that.
Also sad. That's okay. That's okay.
What
Yeah, I
other-
am actually kind of curious where we're going to go at this point.
USA Train.
Happy New Year!
Woo! I think we're like when you're a whole month past, you missed your opportunity.
Yeah. Does kind of make me wonder.
Can I put user in timeout? You're in timeout. Oh, I might as well just block them. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just do that. Nope, we don't talk about trains.
We do talk about trains, but we just
It's
don't.
not
talk
Geek Train, it's Geek Tank. I guess trains have tanks on them sometimes.
Geek train.
Timeout on Alex.
No.
Oh
the
no,
mod.
there's a. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you had to be on YouTube, I think to have seen the post. It was YouTube because we get all three of our feeds directly into the side here on the thing, so we're seeing both. We're seeing Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
Let's say Brent and I talk about trains all the time. Trains are legal.
Trains are legal.
Trains are legal. They're legal discussion.
Gravy trains. That's true.
Gravy trains.
Gosh, what else was there?
Well, we got our ancestral items.
Mhm.
We gotta spend points on and stuff, and in the game, healing magic is not working anymore
Which is going to be
Nope.
interesting.
because of one of the major plot threads.
Mhm.
I was trying to remember what other plot threads we had.
Yeah, we had a lot of plot threads we were talking about, and even we were Alex and I were talking about that, but I noticed that we added at least one because we added Ivy Goes to College as a plot thread. A potential plot thread to be picked
Mhm.
up
There's a seed
as
planted.
a seed.
Yeah, that's a seed, and then like we have the Valeria's soul taken by the Raven Queen.
Which is a big one.
That was established in the session as a our season 3 cliffhanger.
Finale. Yeah. The
Yep. We have the no, everyone else are heathens and must be destroyed, convert or die. That's what happened there. And I can't think of any other major plot threads or I can't think of any other plot threads that are kind of unresolved at this point, besides like Drayden and Buck's bogus journey.
yes.
Drayden and Bach's bogus journey.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Speaking of which, did you get a message out to Drayden about meeting up this week?
You mean
Yes.
JD?
I
JD.
did.
I didn't know if I wanted to say his name or not on here, but without his
Oh,
permission.
we talk about our spouses and our kids' names.
That's
all the
true.
time.
I try not to talk about our kids' names.
I mean, what's he going to do? Quit the game? That's
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's that thread will depend entirely on if JD's comes back to the game.
Yeah.
But the whole healing magic not working was established a long time ago, but only with
Mhm.
certain churches.
Mhm.
So I was foreshadowing that was coming up.
Yep.
Yeah. You've been kind of giving us good warning that was coming.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that I did want people I didn't want to railroad the players, but I did want players to pursue a logical path on what to take on first, second, and third. However, there was talk amongst a few of the players at the time that we have to go after the airship. Was some players wanted to do that and ignore the whole dragon heist thing and the whole there was like a second plot thread thing. Oh, Carissa, the Carissa
Mhm.
issue. And that would have changed the order of how they were doing things because I had thought out the order of how the airship Berian's group was going to do things and at which points they would be interrupted.
Right.
Because in fact, you're no longer on this path, so this isn't going to necessarily happen. There's no reason for it to happen now. but I had set up that if you had interfered with them, that would have made Birion more aware of you guys being around and being a problem, and would have taken it personally and did to Phandalin what they just did to Waterdeep. So, which
That's a good question.
Mhm.
Can magical creatures still heal? That's a good question. We'll have to ask now.
Go ask a
Thank
dragon.
you, Donald, for giving us a little bit of ammunition.
What? My magical NPC monsters that fight you can still heal? That wouldn't be fair.
Womp womp.
Why would they do that?
But yeah, we'll figure things out,
Mhm.
and also whether or not potions that were previously healing potions, do they still work?
Right.
That's another question to ask. I'm assuming that spending hit dice still works.
Yes, because that's a different mechanic.
So if we want to get a little bit into the weeds on the ancestral armaments, one of the abilities you can purchase for your ancestral stuff is, these are items that grow with you. You get basically get points and you can spend them on different abilities. One of them is Hardy, and it says once per long rest you can spend up to half your hit dice to heal as an action. And I was going to ask you if you would be okay with taking that, or if that was also off the table.
I was aware of that, and I think there's also isn't there like a vampire hit point ability?
Yeah.
But I mean, anything that generates hit points or heals, be it through damage with the vampire thing or with the other thing you were mentioning, those are still functional. So you won't be wasting your points if you take them.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, all of these things that were sort of important to the world are now going to become extremely important to the world. You can't just pop down to the local church and have them heal you.
Right. Well, and recovery is going to be an issue too.
Well,
you got blown up. That's too bad, I guess.
Well, doing a short rest and spending hit dice is still on the table, and
Mhm.
D&D doesn't really care. D&D Raw doesn't really care about how much damage you've taken and how much you heal with hit dice and adverse effects. So I don't know if Troy's planning on introducing stuff like that.
Yeah, this is something that also came up quite a while ago that we talked about, and James in particular kind of wanted to bring this mechanic in more and have it get used more. So this has been in the works slowly leading up to this. So it's going to become more important for players to understand how their hit dice work and how resting works, because rules is written still, unless if you take double your original hit point damage, it's actually more than double your original hit point damage. You get to make saving throws, to death saving throws. If you succeed, then you end up at 1 hit point still unconscious, and then you heal slowly. So it's still very hard to die.
Yeah.
But it's now no longer I've been knocked out of battle. Oh, I've been brought back in to the battle in the same combat and can still keep doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Long rest. All your rules is written is all your hit points and half of your hit dice maximum back and stuff like that. And also the bardic songs of rest. You can add those dice to your hit dice rolls.
Those are doing something entirely different than the way Cure Wounds and that works. So bardic rest is still really good.
Yeah. And then there's I've seen some other people do some rules on like you only get like having reduced healing if you are depending on your resting situation. Like if you're roughing it intense, you only get like a couple hit dice back and not all your hit points and stuff like that, which makes shelter spells a lot more valuable, mechanically speaking.
Right.
But which my character has been really invested in because pitching tents is for fucking chumps. So yes, those rangers in our party, chumps. What the fuck, guys? What's wrong with you?
They got something they're trying to prove.
I know. It's like there's my character like Laurence Olivier on the set of Marathon Man. I'm running so much to be actually doing the thing and exercising, and Laurence Olivier's like, why don't you try acting? It's so much easier. I could do all these terrible drudgery things that take up all evening, or I can just cast a spell.
Right. Did you attack the shields against? Yeah, they're ablative armor basically. Did either of you get to watch either of those music videos I posted on our Saturday game
No,
clips? And
I
stuff?
haven't looked at them yet. I haven't looked at my Discord yet.
One of them just reminded me of Fox, and then the other one, particularly, there's one line in it that reminded me of Julie, which is "My daddy never left me." Kind of, she's basically bragging about how awesome she is, and that's one of the lines in it because the person she's berating has daddy issues because her daddy left her when she was really young.
That's awesome.
But it's a show called My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which Tara and I have been watching, and it's surprisingly good.
Okay. Okay.
But mostly the songs are the shining part of it. The show itself is held together by the songs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get bored with the show itself, you can just go watch the songs on YouTube. And the ones I posted are the explicit versions of the songs, which aren't what's in the show. Awesome. Because the creator of it, who's the main actress in it, was trying to sell it to Netflix or to a cable show. So all of the songs she'd originally put in it was explicit. And then they're like, well, we're going to pass on it. And CW is like, we'll take it, but you got to get rid of the R rating on it. Right. So the version you'll see on Netflix now, because Netflix has it, is the unrated. They didn't censor it. They just changed the words. So,
yeah. No, we take our lumps. You know, we're not min-maxing this. We take our lumps. In the game, my character was being very persuasive in trying to get us the hell out of there, and Troy left it up to a 19 or a 10% chance that the beholder wasn't going to have any of it, and got a natural 20. Take our lumps. It's like, all right, let's do it.
Well, you guys, at least nobody was stupid and outright attacked them. I mean, that would have been the conversation.
That would have been conversation.
But you guys were fine, seriously, until Fox opened his mouth.
Right.
Yep. It was like, we need some time to think about it. Okay, that is reasonable. I understand that. Yes, we're having problems because my daughter and I aren't getting along. Oh, well, if that's the problem, I can fix that. Let's go have a talk.
So, the funniest part about that whole thing was Fox was doing the entire thing of, okay, Ivy, we're not going to say anything. You and me, we don't say anything. And Ivy's like, not saying anything, not saying anything, not saying anything. And Fox is like, hi, I'm going to get us all in trouble. And Ivy's like, you can almost see her like, didn't we agree?
Yes. Yeah, Donald, I don't know if you're familiar with the Xanathar, who is the Xanathar that's in power in the 1400 era, late 1300s. But he crazy. So, his only friend the only thing he cares about as in the world other than himself is this goldfish that he believes talks to him and is his right hand man / confidant. And that was just Fox was just having a bad night because they were like roll after roll. Like, missing these like easy things.
I don't think Fox rolled above a 7 all night.
No. Okay, you just got to get a 10 on your save throw. I got a 3 plus my whatever is a 7. Okay, let's go to the random madness chart and see what happens. You pass out.
It was pretty rough. I was like, I don't know how in the world that happened.
I have found, having played many very deep characters, that when Fox being piloted by Mariah is a very deep character, I have found that for good or for like for high or for low rolls, the rolls come. The rolls are what you need, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
And because Mariah switched dice at least once, if not twice. And it didn't help. At least it didn't help for rolling better. but it was perfect for what the situation demanded.
Right. Yeah. Fox totally whiffed the Constitution save for the sewer and lost it. Where's some of the other ones that were whiffed? There was just a bunch. I can't even remember them all.
Yeah.
And congrats to Lumen for playing Carissa really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For doing
agreed.
that. An NPC character that they stepped in and took over and really embodied the I don't give a crap about anything except not liking my dad and wanting him to suffer kind of thing. And then the really taking to heart the Carissa is the complete opposite, the least materialistic person in the world type thing, and then just randomly taking an item when it was offered.
Yeah.
Don't change the dice.
I Xanathar is nuttier than a peanut farm, says Bob.
Yes. He's
True.
fun. He's fun to NPC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the book it's like he has this jester who's really bad, and he's thinking he's pretty much decided he's going to kill him at some point. Was the line in the book.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, I totally know how this is going to go down. I don't know what of his 10 rays he's going to get hit with, but we'll make that random.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Xanathar, what a character. Xanathar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Like, I'll be here all night.
Yep.
You rotate your dice tray. That's interesting. Bob's talking about another thing that I've had an interesting discussion before about, which is, all of our weird and funny quirks that we have in games. And he's talking about rotating his dice tray. That's interesting. Last night, or Saturday night, was brutal, though, for Mariah's character because, she rolled her die, and her 20 was coming up with 1s and 3s. And so I was like, here, I've got 60 of them because, of course, I collect 20-siders so I can put them in jail. That's my thing, right? So I've got all of these extra 20s. She rolls those, and they're coming up with 5 and 4 and 6. It's like even when she swapped out with my dice, she still wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, the multiple thieves guilds were the fun with that was having them all show up at the final end point of the game, and the two that were there first originally fighting it out and then deciding we're going to work this out.
Yep.
And then the group getting to decide, do we want to go take them out now, wait till they come out and ambush them, go work out part of the deal?
Yeah, we just decided to work it we wish to get in on this deal of plausible deniability. We didn't see no one.
Yep.
It'd be enough to go around, to go out, to leave. I cast teleportation circle.
Ones, damn.
No ambushing us on the way out, late.
Right.
So it's interesting because how very pervasive D&D is. I'm watching over here, and all of the guys in the motor pool over there, they're all talking about different versions of their D&D stories. And I'm just saying it's interesting how pervasive it is, because I remember a time back when I was younger, where it was, so underground and we didn't talk about it. But moreover, it's fascinating that so many of us now all play, and you can say a nat 1 or a nat 20 and everybody automatically knows what that means,
Well, we are Geek Tank,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Our
audience,
audience.
that's the thing, but I'm
even
still
if we
talking
didn't
about the fact
know
that
our
it is-
audience, literally knew them.
Yeah, it's still
Our audience
fascinating to me.
is in that
We
milieu.
went from an era of, don't talk about this because demons are involved, to an era of, now we all just kind of play it.
Yeah, well,
But while
but
we're
not
talking about this, though,
we're not talking to normies.
I know. I didn't say we were.
Yes, but so everybody in our audience and all of us know about nat 20s and nat 1s and have for literally decades.
Okay. I'm going to talk about our sponsors now.
Okay.
Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, and Your Mom.
Your Net Mom.
Your Mom Zombies.
Mm-hmm. Well, Critical Role came out in 2012, and I would say that snowballed into the normies world of what D&D was. So it's they've had 11 years now, and that's really I'm surprised of anyone who is under 30 who doesn't know what D&D is at this point. But especially with they're now in their second season of the animated Vox Machina, and movies coming out this year, I think.
Yeah, definitely got to look at some of the we know that the suite of like resurrection type spells are not working either, so we'll have to check on like the restorations and stuff like that. So
There'll have to be some investigation going on.
Yeah, let's go into the find somebody who's like blind or deaf and cast Lesser Restoration and see what happens. Which I'm down for.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's tons of bad games out there. There's tons of bad just stuff out there.
I'm the D&D group that I'm following. Occasionally, you still get to see what I consider to be bad gamers, because they're still playing by the old concept of the game master's the bad guy, or it's not so much the bad guy, but the game master versus players,
An adversarial
relationship, and try very hard to make life hard for the players to the point of not even pulling punches. And it's like, but as the game master, there's nothing that's keeping you from being able to kill the players. So it's like, unless you're going to have another unbiased referee arbitrating what the GM's throwing out there versus the players, it's not really a game at that point anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well just play one of those, one of those increasing games where it's an asymmetrical gameplay.
Yep.
So
Then at least you have rules, and nobody's fudging dice rolls behind the screen against your favor. Which, if you don't, to have that trust, you have to know that the person that's running the game's not abusing that power.
Yep.
But
rocks fall, people die.
You're all dead. Yeah, there's someone posting. It's like, I put the group up against almost an identical type group of NPCs, and they all got slaughtered. And someone's like, yeah, the CR rating doesn't scale that way. No. You basically put them against a CR rating like 10 times higher than what they should have been facing. But yeah, I put one guy against some of you of the same level. And having the drop on you and having the advantage of plotting things out was very difficult and he would have eventually lost if he stuck around, but he would have taken a few people with him. But that wasn't his goal. So,
right.
But I knew that as the GM too. I'm like, well, it'll be possible for the players to kill him if they do the right things, which is fine.
One of the GMs that we know says the art of GMing is beating the players within an inch of their lives. So, yeah, and like for the Earth Dawn game that I'm running, I was gonna wait till they're like second circle now. I was gonna wait till like fourth or fifth, and I was gonna take them. That's when I was gonna take them to par length. And I told the players like up front, like it's session 0, I'm like, we're learning the system, we're learning the world. There are certain assumptions that don't follow through with other games that you've played. When you get to par length, the gloves are coming off. I'm not going to put you in impossible situations. I'm not going to make things. I'm not like, oh, the dice say you die, so you die. But that's when things are going to get hard.
Taking you to the shady area of Vegas taping $100 bills to you and dropping you naked off in there.
Right.
Get out alive if you can. Good old Par Length. Need to make some T-shirts. I went to Par Length and all I got was horror.
All I got was this lousy horror mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other things? Oh, so yeah, Carissa, the NPC who turned PC, is now back to NPC.
Cool.
I talked to Lumen 2 weeks ago. Had said, hey, storyline wise, a good point is coming up for Carissa's path to leave the group. It's not necessary. If you're loving playing the character of Carissa, I can change that. But this is a great opportunity for you to make your own character, which I know you've never done for D&D, and you're interested in that. And so that was the option chosen. So Carissa's exit was planned out. All kinds of hard clues were not so subtle clues were thrown at Fox before Carissa exited the stage.
Yep. Yep.
But
My character will probably send her a letter to her address and not expect to hear from her for another 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I was considering with how all the horrible stuff went down in Waterdeep. I had not scripted any other NPC's fate for that. But considering so many NPCs are in Waterdeep, I thought it would be an interesting opportunity to set that out there if players wanted to create more drama in their life. Like it could very easily be Nilton's dad was on delivery,
right,
doing stuff up there in Waterdeep and suffered injury or worse. At that time of day, not so much Gaston, but Gaston could have been.
Yeah, as far as I know, Gaston was either in Skullport, doing his thing with Skiz, or he might have already gotten on ship with the captain,
right?
And he's out to sea, and it's like, okay, like Julie needs more drama in her life,
right?
I mean, it's fine if there is, but it's like as far as the people that she truly cares about the most in this world, or in that world, it's like she's fine. Jean's fine, as well as she can be deep undercover. Right. Gaston's fine. Fox is, then we look at Fox is fine-ish. Yale is fine.
Yeah, Donald, Skullport is where their main base of operations is at, through this created NPC character that my son actually came up with and was playing as a player character a while back, he's yet another Thieves Guild in effect in Skullport. Started a place called Bahal's Deep, spelled BAHL''S Deep.
Like Bayhal, the Lord of Murder.
Bayhal, the Girl of Murder.
Water deep and stuff.
But of course, he pronounces it Balls Deep because he's a rascal like that. Shanghai,
right?
But yeah, it's interesting. And of course, they were in Skullport, way under the cave, when the large explosions happened in Waterdeep, which kept them safe.
Totally fine.
So yeah, the rebuilding of Waterdeep is going to be on the menu, as well as trying to piece together what had happened. The primary defender of Waterdeep, I forgot her name, but she's the current Blackstaff.
The Blackstaff.
The Blackstaff, and the Lords of Waterdeep are all going to be okay. We were mostly ignoring this problem that was happening way off to the east because it didn't affect us. We had our eye on it because it was interesting that these small little temples were getting attacked out in the middle of nowhere, but really we've got bigger things to worry about. Now it's because that problem's right in their laps, so they're going to be trying to figure out what's going on and retaliate. Let's see. the less than moral thieves guilds, which is most of them, are going to be doing what they can to take advantage of the situation and profit from it. So Waterdeep's got its work cut out ahead of it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, totally make sure the rest of the players know that they can have loved ones in peril.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we wanted to go ahead and tell players to factor in 2 weeks to a month of sort of downtime before we start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff players are going to want to do immediately anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the downtime thing would work or not.
Right.
Yeah, so obviously the trying to determine that's, and then Kevin's taking over a new character because his old character he sacrificed to save the NPC, so he will be playing that NPC now. And that NPC's primary drive is either going to be finding a way to bring back Valeria, or going for revenge, depending on which way Kevin wants to run that character.
A good point, which is bardic knowledge checks.
It's not really a bardic knowledge anymore in 5e.
We have lore.
There's a spell named Legend Lore.
Yeah, but we picked that up because I got it against my will, as I recall.
But the only missing player is their body's there, but their spirit isn't. It's been escorted into the Shadowfell.
Yep.
So that sets up the seed of the group could try to go to the Shadowfell and track down Valeria's spirit. That'll be easy.
That's another thing too. Happens. Is this cross-planar?
Mm-hmm.
Is this non-magical and no magical healing cross-planar? Because if so, then those planes are being upheaval as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's plenty of injured people we can find that we can try to cast lesser restoration on and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the city's trying to come together and recover, and anyone who is not an evil character is out there burning their spell slots trying to help people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the scene is meant to be heavy drama and intense because the whole city basically has suffered a terrorist attack with considerable number of injuries and deaths.
Yep.
Whereas I would imagine, as I've heard you say before, the shit got real.
Yep, shit got real.
Which I felt was a good way to end a season or whatever before the break.
It's good. Mm-hmm. Good cliffhanger.
It was good.
That way, so after a month, people aren't like, after not gaming for a month, I kind of don't want to go back to it anymore. I have no interest in finding out what happened.
That's important. We wouldn't come back.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you act for as a beggar. If you get your wound healed and your profession is begging, then you just pretend.
Yeah, I mean, most modern beggars pretend. But yeah, I don't know if Bob was here to hear what we were saying before. But in our D&D game, magical healing is not working at this time.
Yeah, the overall plot has been that this evil that has been released onto the world in the first adventure, which I guess was like levels 1 through 4, 1 through 5, has started a campaign to kill gods. And so the gods that are getting injured or killed is causing their realms that they're over of magic to wane and cease.
Yeah. No magical healing. Natural healing is still working.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yay, interesting is good.
Yep.
But yeah, I was thinking of getting we could either just do this every Monday between now and when we start the game again, or when we run out of people, or based on people's availability, of getting players on here one at a time and just asking them, what they've enjoyed about the game, what's been the most interesting parts, and that sort of interview the players.
Mm-hmm.
Which, with 15 minutes left, we can touch on that a little bit with the two of you, but I wouldn't want to also not have a show that gave you more time to talk about the stuff that you really dug about it. But your character, Alex, is the most interesting background story because it's based off of somebody who's real,
right?
In my opinion. And your enthusiasm that you bring to the whole aspect as a whole to the game really helps motivate me to keep my game up.
Sweet.
As the GM, so.
Well, you're welcome.
And then, strangely enough, Guy's biggest gift was abandoning one of his characters and giving me a really awesome villain to throw against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the wanting to dip away from the seriousness and go more into the comedy aspect brought about a change in character, I think, for big reason why Guy changed. He's like, this character's too serious.
Yep, like all my other characters, too serious. It became sort of an ongoing thing that all of our characters are all of my characters are always too serious.
Yep.
Yep. So, with the few minutes we got left, I'll actually start with Guy if Guy's ready.
Because Guy's got his own show to go to. That's right.
Yeah. If you had to pick the thing that's been the most fun for you out of the game, or the most fun scene that you've been a part of, what would you say it was? Or not necessarily been a part of, just witnessed. It doesn't have to be
just
Ivy
witnessed. Yeah. Like the biggest thing that has occurred. I'm gonna have to think about that actually, because now all of a sudden I'm like, well, because I mean, there have been a lot of things that were really good about this particular game. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened that was fascinating and cool. And I'm trying to think, because there were times where Ivy really shone, but she's always been sort of a part of the ensemble. And so I don't feel like there's ever been a moment where it's been Ivy centric. I actually am kind of thinking that this next chapter is going to end up being a lot more Ivy centric.
Well, I've set up the Shadowfell return, which is where Ivy's from.
Yep.
And I've already told you I know who Ivy's parents are. I've already figured out what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Without you knowing what it is, so it's there. It's just a matter of when the group gets around to doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I mean, some of this the game has been. In a way, a lot of it's just a big blur at this moment, because all I can think about was Saturday night's game and where we were, but I didn't play a big part in that. That wasn't the resolution part for Ivy. It was
especially because you were told to not say anything.
I know, it was very funny. I don't know. I think part of the whole thing is, for me, it's the little moments like that has made this game really fun. It's been the moments that were completely unintentional. Like, for example, Fox saying, we're not going to say anything, and then promptly going off and not just saying something, but completely just left turning the entire adventure because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And Ivy looking at him like, you told me. No, I think that the moment that probably is my favorite moment, though, was in the theater when the bad guys were attacking and Ivy cast
during Julie's performance.
Yeah, during Julie's performance, and Ivy cast animate object and made all of the chairs and tables become creatures that attacked, because Ivy went from the goofy sidekick to totally changing the entire battle in that fight. Because that fight went from, because she was the only one that was prepared. Everybody else was taken off guard or still moving around or still in motion or something like that. And so it became one of those that she just was in the right place at the right time for that battle. And then she cast animate objects.
Yeah, and had all the chairs attack the bad guys.
All the chairs and tables attack the bad guys. And I think that was one of her big moments. Another one was when she used her major image to stop the bad guy from entering the boat for just a second, because it wasn't long enough really to do anything, because the major image can't, but it was long enough to just cause enough of a delay for everybody else to get into some position. It didn't change a lot of things, but I think that my favorite part about Ivy is that she started out with a bunch of really weird offhand spells, and people were like, even me, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use this for. And then we'll get in there and I'll use it for something bizarre, just something really creative and weird. And I like that. I think that's a cool thing. The fact that she's green and has a broom is funny in my book. I mean, she's really like the Wicked Witch from the West.
The image did draw one of the bad guys' attacks, which kept it from going to an actual player.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal, and like none of it's been game changing. It's not like it's been, it's not been like a massive alter of the game, but some of it has been particularly funny, just like, and clever and interesting. And I like that because everybody thinks that she's stupid, but she's actually got like these clever moments, which makes everybody think she's not stupid. You know what I mean? Like all of the characters are now kind of doing she sounds crazy, but she's not stupid. So there's something else going on, which I like.
Cool. Over to you, Alex. I mean, we will come back to both of you again another show, because
so like I was saying before, when embodying these powerful characters, like the roles will come, and I always look at the character as what can this character teach me? What can it reveal to me about myself, or what can it teach me in this other shoes? And so I know I've told both of you this, but I don't know if I told the group, our audience of whatever this. So our authorial intent, my intent was for it was pretty much, and I talked to Mariah about this, that our characters are going to get together. It's going to happen. We're going to dance around a little bit. There's going to be unresolved sexual tension and stuff. It's going to be fun.
And it'll be resolved.
And then, but my character has all these bonds. She has a fulfilling life outside of just being an adventurer. And so we had gotten to the situation where, okay, she's decided that she's going to go. The love of her life when she was younger, is in trouble. And my character leaps to an erroneous conclusion, but it turns out that she is in trouble. It's not the way she thought. And they go to rescue her, and they travel cost crunchy to do this and everything, and we're like letting our movements get known and stuff. So we get captured, we get interrogated, we get released, and all this stuff and so on. So it's great. And then at the end of that episode, tune in next week, cliffhanger, is that Julie's love, is there in the inn having breakfast as we come down the stairs. And Julie, the character in my head, pushes me aside and is like, I'm in charge here. And is still madly in love with her. And now I've been playing this gender bending, bisexual, as Anna put it, the sexiest hammer that wants to nail everything. And I'm like, oh, and she still loves Fox, Mariah's character. I'm like, oh, this is not our ethereal intent. This is a giant monkey wrench into this. On how I thought it was going to happen. I was like, we're going to go to Suzelle. We're going to rescue her. I know some nobles in Neverwinter that owe me 2 solid favors. Set her up there. Have a great life. Do the best you can. Yeah. I have adventuring to do. Lates. And then it was like, oh shit. That is not how this is going down at all. And it's been great. It's been great.
She's been a really interesting NPC to develop too.
Mhm.
The damsel in distress, taking up action herself and going, I'm no longer going to be the one in distress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And it's been cool. It's been cool.
Yeah, it's been a good game.
So we only have a few minutes left. If we would have had more time, a couple of things that was going to happen was Birion was going to face off with at least one of the players, if not two players. And I had thought, because I thought for sure a nice dramatic scene would be Birion challenging Fox to a duel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd considered the idea of asking you, Guy, to play Birion for that scene. However, Birion has become something way more serious than you had even created her to be, and you would have to play a character with zero humor, 100% straight up religious zealot, smite all sinners type character. So I didn't want to
do it. It'd just
I
be
didn't want
boring.
to put that, I didn't want to put that on you.
It's all good.
But I
appreciate it.
I was leaning to it just because of two reasons. One, she was your character originally, and two, to make the fight somewhat fair, of having you make the choices of the attacks and everything that Birion would be doing, removing it from my hand and me feeling guilty if Birion was to actually like win the fight.
Right. But I also think that on the other side of that would have been that I would have then known what Birion has. I don't know.
I would have limited what you would have had access to.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as in, I don't know if I want to. I wouldn't know if I personally wanted to know that. You know what I mean? Like, it probably would have been okay, but I'm not sure if I really. I'm very good at separating player knowledge and stuff, but still,
you don't want to take the fun out of it for yourself.
Yeah, right. I don't want to take the fun out of it. It would definitely take the oh crap, oh wow, she's got all this stuff. I'm going to attack her with this, and oh that didn't work. Oh no, it'd take all of that out, which wouldn't be horrible. But there will be a day where we're going to have to face off with her.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, I'm kind of glad. Yeah, I would have happily have done it if you needed it, and I still will if you do need it.
I didn't need it. It was just one of those options I was playing with as a GM as to who I wanted that way to go.
Just saying, I would have happily done it if you needed it.
Yeah,
I still will if you do. If you feel like that's the appropriate thing to do, don't let that stop you.
We'll see. All right. Well, since you got your other show to do,
yep, and that's pretty much what I've got to do here. Is I gotta get it moving.
And I guess we'll throw the offer out to our players and see if anybody wants to be on the show next Monday.
Yeah,
to talk about
somebody could be
their take
the person in the next room
if they want. Yeah,
yep, because that would be a thing if they wanted to join.
Mm-hmm. That one.
But for right now, that's all the time we have for today. I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.